Hi, everyone. Well, we already have a lot of participants who joined us on time. So let's start. Please write me in the chat. Do you hear and see me well? Someone?
Yeah, we can see you very well, and we can hear you as well.
Okay, great. Savala, thank you. Okay, so thank you for joining our webinar. Let me introduce the topic of this event. This is best practices for demand forecasting and inventory planning, European challenges for 2024. Exciting topic. My name is Nelly Woods. I'm a supply chain professional and product expert at Streamline. I'm happy to host this webinar today and to introduce to you our speakers and Streamline partners that represent us in Europe. So please meet Artur Janyst. He has over 15 years of professional experience in managing key areas of the supply chain in major stock-listed companies. Artur is an expert in the area of planning and development of S&OP processes, MBA graduate in logistics and supply chain management at the Poznan School of Logistics, holder of the Lean Black Belt certificate. Hi, Artur.
Hello, hi.
Also, I'm happy to introduce to you Marek Janke. He is a member of the board of Warsaw stock-listed companies with hundreds of millions of revenue. Marek has experience in sales, planning, and warehousing, working in manufacturing, service, and trade companies. He graduated from the Faculty of Transport at the Maritime University in Szczecin, Executive MBA at the Rotterdam School of Management, and a post-MBA at the Swiss Business School. Hi, Marek.
Yes, hello, Nelly.
Currently, Artur and Marek deal with issues of digital transformation, implement machine learning and artificial intelligence solutions to optimize internal processes in mid-size and enterprise companies. So let's move forward, and Marek will explain in the webinar. The webinar logistics to you.
Thank you very much, Nelly, and welcome everyone to our webinar. Feel free to ask any questions in the Q&A window at any time. We will answer them during the webinar or at the end of the Q&A session. We will have also one poll during the webinar to better understand you and your current challenges. I'd like to say also that we will have a recording of this webinar and it will be provided to you in a follow-up email. Also, a Streamline headlights will be or are actually available for download. But first, I'd like to start interacting with you as an audience and ask you, where are you located? So please open up the chat and write to us, where are you located right now, the city or the country? We are very interested in finding out the geography of today's webinar.
Oh, wow.
Denmark, Istanbul,
Prague,
Saudi Arabia, yeah, Budapest, okay, Bangladesh even, yeah, Amsterdam,
New York,
China. Oh, that's great.
Croatia.
Yeah. Really inspiring.
There are some Polish cities, Philippines, France. Oh, that's great. It's not only the European range of our participants, it's also the worldwide, the global presence. Artur, what do you think about that?
Well, I'm kind of impressed what huge range of participants from different countries is involved in this webinar. I think it means that the problems that we are dealing in supply chain are all over the world, or especially in Europe, the same. And the challenges that we are facing and the best practices that we need to learn how to deal with them are pretty similar in every geographic region.
Yeah, okay. Great. Thank you.
Exactly.
So let's move forward to our main topic. Artur, can you explain what kind of challenges in Europe we are facing right now?
Yeah. At first, I will try to describe the current economic background in Europe. Probably all of you right now are seeing the inflation, the conflict between Ukraine and Russia. and the overall economic situation in Europe has created an atmosphere of, let's say, technical recession. Yes, the demand for the service, demand for the manufacturing is falling down. Some even predict that we will fall to the levels of COVID-19. To summarize it and show you how it looks like, I will use the Purchasing Manager Index. Probably you know this PMI index, which shows the trends, the economic trends in Eurozone, whether they are rising and our future and our economy is rising, or we are in a downturn. To explain, the value on the graph 50 means that this is a neutral position. The value below 50 means that we are heading down and the economic trend is falling and we are starting a recession. If it's above 50, we are increasing and the economy is boosting. As you can see, that the lowest number was during the COVID crisis, but actually I don't have good news for us here in Europe, because constantly since few months the PMI index is falling down, and this PMI index is based on the survey, the questions asked to the industry leaders all over Europe and service leaders of all over Europe. So we are now focusing a trend that actually leads us to the technical recession.
Yeah. Okay, Artur. Thank you. I understand PMI, but what are the biggest challenges in Europe regarding supply chain?
Actually, I made some surveys with our existing customers, and I have chosen 3 topics to cover the main challenges that we are currently facing in our supply chain. But I would love to ask our participants what challenges they are facing currently in their business.
Okay, let's do this. So these economic changes impact the market and cause issues. But if we ask the question, what is your greatest supply chain planning challenge? We'd like to make a poll. So I would like to ask all the participants to take part in this voting. So please select 1, maximum 2, the most important from your perspective. Low forecast accuracy, which is actually the topic since years. For some people, the overstock might be the most challenging issue, or lack of stock, which is opposite. Number 3, a lack of stock, which causing a loss of sales, or maybe too wide assortment. Number 4, which is hard to plan. Sometimes data modeling, which is taking time, it's consume as much time as we are not able to make an analysis, or even, which is more important, take an actions. Or number 6, which means the inefficient collaboration between participants in the process of S&OP. So please vote, choose what is your opinion, the most challenging issue in the last months for you in your business. I see not everybody are still taking part in our voting. So the poll is still open, so you can see it on your screen. Please click on it. Yes, still some people are not voted yet. So, okay, we are finishing the voting. The poll will be ended, but please vote in the window of the poll, not in the chat. I see that some of you are voting in the chat. It's not the right place. Okay, we have enough, almost everybody. Now we can see 43 people voted, and number 1 is low forecast accuracy. So still number 1. It's last year we saw the similar result. It's interesting that the number 2 is similar overstock in inefficient collaboration. Artur, what is your opinion regarding the results?
Well, the results are interesting. I think they are throughout the years they are constantly the same. And but if it's in challenge for our participants, it's also challenge for us in supply chain to improve these processes. I have chosen 3 topics based on the surveys with our customers, and all these 3 topics will cover your votes in this pool. And I will try to, when moving through these topics, to dive deep into details in accordance with your pools. So at the first topic, we will discuss the customer unpredictability, when we will focus on safety stock issues and on forecast accuracy. In cash flow, Overstock, we will directly hit Overstock, so your second vote on this pool. And lack of reaction time will also cover the things that you mentioned, the collaboration in sales and operating process, as well as forecast accuracy. Okay, so let's move forward. Before I start, I will just shortly briefly tell about Streamline. Probably most of you worked on some different systems, planning systems, ERP systems. I personally worked on 6 or 7 different systems. Today I'm working on Streamline, and I treat this system as a highly reliable and valuable asset in terms of building S&OP process and planning. And if you wish to learn more about this system, you can visit G2. This is the platform that annually is visited by 80 million people. And when you can find opinions and reviews that are directly from the key users of the system and also other systems. So you can even compare it to other systems. As mentioned, Streamline is a leader, is fast implementation and best usability currently in this business segment. Okay, so let's start with our first topic, customer unpredictability. Probably everyone is facing now this situation in which it's very hard to predict what will happen in the forthcoming, not even months, but weeks. The demand volatility due to the recession is very high. The customers are buying less and more cautiously, and it's even harder to predict anything that is happening currently on the market. And I will show you the best practices how to deal with it. But before, I will tell you about an example. Probably everyone remember COVID-19 and the situation, the lockdowns, the problems with the containers, with the transport from Southeast Asia, and the problems in car manufacturing industry. If you wanted to order a car just after the COVID, the lead times for ordering new cars was around 1 year to 1.5 years. So it was a really long time. But today, actually, the car manufacturers opened new capacity production lines and fulfilled their stocks. And if you wish to order the car today, in many cases, you can buy directly from the dealer. So now the car manufacturers in many companies in Europe have a different issue. They now don't lack the semi-products to manufacture their cars, but they have overstock in almost every part of their business. First of all, if we want to challenge this part, we have to think about our focus on how we are calculating safety stock, and we should move our strategy from calculating the safety stock based on the demand for the future period, instead to moving to service level based safety stock. And I will show you right now in Streamline how to do it and how to effectively.
Artur, but maybe before we will go to the presentation of the solution, there is an interesting question in the question from the audience. So the question is, how could we manage demand fluctuation frequently due to undefined market trends? So what we can do with that?
Actually, this is the topic that I will cover in just a few minutes. So I would like to answer a little bit later. Although my answer won't be, let's say, the one that you are expecting, that I will say you, okay, we need to use this kind of tools and use this kind of statistical forecast. We need to change the process and change our focus a little bit, and I will explain it later. Okay, please give me a little bit time. In 5 to 10 minutes, I will deal with this topic. Okay.
Sure.
Okay, so let's start first with Streamline. I will briefly present you the tool for you to understand what I will be showing you next. Streamline has few panels. We can forecast demand in Streamline. We can manage inventory. We have reports and dashboards and changes. And in the demand tab, what first we can create at first the product hierarchy and tree in accordance with your business and divided on what your business is currently operating with. It's up to you. We can even dive into the market channel on the sales channels or even customers. What you see here is actually the alert system. So at first, Streamline is already calculating and imposing an alert system to you, which says that there is a risk of lost sales in the red, and there's a huge overstock, which is presented in the value on green. I will also explain it later how to use it with benefits to your processes. We usually in Streamline want to have at least 24 months of history of sales for our algorithms to check whether there's a seasonality, to draw some patterns when forecasting. In inventory tab, we are preparing the safety stock calculation and purchase orders calculation. So inventory tab consists information regarding the on-hand inventory, lead times, order cycles, minimum lot, safety stocks, and many, many more, which I will also describe. In reports, we have all the reports that are needed in your business, in your collaboration with different parts of your business, starting from demand forecast, performance, ordering plans, KPIs, and even projected write-offs to save your money when the write-off time is coming. And the dashboard presents the most important KPIs in the visual form, so you can also present it during the S&OP meetings. And in the changes tab, you can see all the changes made by your team to your current project. Okay, but let's return to the service level. Streamline supports different methods of building safety stock. It could be based on future demand, as seen here, or based on service level. I definitely recommend to change to the service level strategy, as it updates more precisely the safety stock needed, and it lowers the stocks at the beginning of the process. We can also create a replenishment strategy, which is based on periodic replenishment or min-max levels. It's up to you. It's up to your business. But let me look briefly how easy it is to change this kind of features in Streamline and how quickly Streamline is calculating the safety stock. If we moving with the 1 month cover of future demand, you can see easily what numbers are presented here in safety stock. If we change the service level, which takes into consideration the lead time variability, and many other parameters, the safety stock will be calculated completely different. And please look at what is the difference when calculating the safety stock. So in current situation, when we in our companies many times have a huge overstock, changing your focus from building your safety stock to the service level based safety stock could save you a lot of money.
Yeah, okay. So Artur, thank you very much. You mentioned how to deal with the safety stock strategy, but what about the forecast accuracy, the topic number 1 in our pool?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, the forecast accuracy, in my opinion and the opinion of our customers that are using our solution, many times internally or externally in company, everybody is asking about the forecast accuracy. If you go to the management board meeting, everyone will ask the planners, what is the forecast accuracy? If I meet with potential customers, they are asking what forecast accuracy they will receive. Of course, Streamline can provide you a lot of benefits when forecasting using AI and using these forecasting methods that are built in Streamline. But during the recession time, during the times when the sales patterns are very unpredictable, the most important thing is not the forecast accuracy, it's the fast reaction time to changes. The fast reaction time, how fast you adapt to the changing market. If you have any information from your sales department, you can quickly update them in the software, and the software will tell you how much to buy or where to stop any purchase, not to build your overstock. So the reaction time is much more important right now than forecast accuracy, and I will deal with it and explain it later in detail.
Yeah. Some people say that during the crisis, the cash is a king. So the cash flow is also the most important part of the business. So what about the misallocation of the cash flow into the overstock? We see that there are some reasons of that. Customers sometimes are changing their minds. They are canceling or postponing their orders. Or sometimes we have already ongoing excessive orders and we expect them to receive. Or sometimes companies don't see or ignore negative sales trends. Or sometimes, this is another case, we in the companies are too much focused on the planned budget. So we are thinking about what we thought it will happen in the future before the year begin. So, Artur, what are the best practices to avoid the situation that the cash flow is misallocated in the overstock?
Okay. Again, the key is the fast reaction time and the proper strategy to deal with this situation. We will have overstock constantly because sometimes we deal with some promotions that are not selling very well. So we will have some overstock, but the reason is we need to manage it. Yes, the first and the foremost important option is to look at the structure of your stock and allocate your actions in accordance with your structure. Decrease your service level for your C-class products that don't give you a lot of money, but they can build up your inventory value. You can also filter the products with the most extensive inventory and focus your efforts when we very quickly pass them to your marketing and sales team to sell them up, to improve your cash flow. You can also contact your suppliers or your manufacturing side to update, to split your orders. In some cases, it's better to pay a little bit more in transport rather than receive the whole quantity that you previously wanted to order. So postponing and splitting these orders also may help you to manage the safety stock. I will show you how to use this, how to do with it in Streamline. Okay, first of all, in inventory tab, we can very easily apply filters regarding our production class. For example, our C-class products, which generates only 10% of our revenue. When we have these products chosen, we can easily switch to the safety stock calculation. When we can choose our service level in percentage, that is currently 98%, we can change these volumes to, for example, 80%. This will automatically lower our safety stocks for the C-class products. So we will not be ordering as much as needed. What we can do more, we can filter our products with the highest inventory value currently and pass them through to our sales team, to our marketing departments to do something in order to sell them to boost our cash flow. What's even more, we can also with one click filter out our products which we currently have in our overstock. With Streamline, it is extremely easy. We just build the filter in which we provide that if overstock is more than 0, we can easily filter out these products that we could easily sell out. Yes, we can also see how long we will have the problem of overstock in our company. So with current demand forecast in our sales plans, we can see how long we will deal with this overstocks in every specific product. So it's very easy to communicate in the organization and very quick if you want to adapt, if you, for example, updating the forecast and you want to see how the changes affected your allocation system, your safety stocks, your stock, your inventory. It's easy to see it and it's easy to transfer this knowledge in the organization.
Yeah. This is also a very dangerous challenge. Visiting companies or talking to people, to the employees, we see that everybody are in hurry. Everybody are busy making something. We see that there's a huge problem with lack of time or lack of reaction, which is causing the loss of sales. This is even much more dangerous because when you are losing sales, also it may have the influence not only on the revenue or the profit margin, but also it may cause in a longer time customers loss. So we see that there are at least two big issues. So when the crisis is coming, the financial departments are cutting the budgets and safety stock because of the economic slowdown, because they are afraid of the cash flow. And some companies are trying to sell actually the same whole product portfolio as before to hit the sales targets instead of focusing on the revenue generation items. So Artur, what are the best practices in this area which you recommend to implement in the companies in these difficult times?
Actually, when it comes to recession, very often the first reaction of the financial department is, as you mentioned, cut the purchase order, lower the overall stock value, and very often this decision needs to be applied immediately. It puts a lot of pressure on the supply side, which may lead to drastic cutting without proper analysis, and it may lead to lost sales. So the first thing we need to do is to evaluate how our stock looks like in terms of its structure, how healthy it is. And based on this, we can communicate with our financial department whether we can cut some purchase orders without harming the sales, because the worst thing what we can do is to lower our purchasing orders and lower our inventory and then sell less. Nobody wants to do it. We need to make the proper assessment of our stock, our structure of the stock. We need to prioritize our stock with ABC analysis. We need to put the management by exception and creating the alert systems on the places that we can see that we can lose the sales. And on the other hand, when you can see that we can have too much stock on this on our inventory. And most of all, we need to focus on analyzing the data and making an action instead of data modeling. I remember that when I was planning and working in planning departments, making an analysis took us 60 to even 80% of our time. And because gathering all the information from the sales department, from the ERP, from mails, sometimes from phone calls, and putting into one analysis that is needed at the moment took us too much time. Right now, we don't have this time. We need to act fast and we need to not focus on data modeling, but using AI software-based, make action based on the analysts that are present in the system. As for the prioritization, we need to firstly divide the assortment between the planners and focus their attention on it. We can use ABC, XYZ analysis to focus first on the products that are bringing our, for example, 70% of our annual revenue, as well as gross margin, because this is the cash that is staying in our company. We need to build alert system in order to react fast and to see what are the crucial points in our supply chain right now. and we need to take immediate actions and change the status of this index, and of course start from the most important A-class indexes. Now I will show you how to do it using Streamline. First of all, I would like to show you that Streamline has this very nice feature of ABC analysis, when we can create our own ABC analysis. It doesn't need to be only focused on revenue. We can choose whether we want to make an ABC analysis on units sold, on gross profit, on cost of goods sold, or on inventory value. And what's more, we can make a cross-functional analysis. During these times that we have currently, it's good to make, for example, this kind of analysis that we will check our revenue and our gross profits that we are generating of our product. This is very simple, very easy. System is calculating it, and it's providing this information immediately to us, and we can focus on this products. Let me see. Okay, so now I see that I have the products that generates the most margin and the most revenue in company. They are in danger of losing the sales. So this is a direct information for me that I have to act fast with these products and see what I can do. I can move to the inventory tab. I can create the filters and build the filters regarding the ABC class revenue based on revenue, and ABC class based on profit, and work with this. And work with these items to see where I can have problems and where I need to react fast. Okay, very quickly we can see that we have this position on red. Then we can have problems with fulfilling the demand. So I need to contact my supplier to speed up, or contact my manufacturing department to speed up my orders, or to speed up my production. We can also create the overall filters for our products that are in risk of overstock. Yeah, very quickly we can create this kind of filters and system of alerts here in Streamline, when we can see where we have stockouts. I mean stockout. Where we have stockouts, we can rename it as we wish, and list this indexes that we might have some stockouts. Furthermore, we can also look at our report side, and for example, we can check on which positions that we are currently facing difficulties in forecasting, what kind of model quality we have. For example, if we have model quality that is lower than, let's say, 70%, let's filter out these products and double check those products. Yes. Okay. So now Streamline is showing me that I have few of the products that I have model quality lower than 70%. So this is the kind of products that I need to discuss and speak with my sales department, because I need additional information. It shows me that this demand is currently so unpredictable in this on those products that we need to focus and gather more information from the market directly from the sales team.
I think that it is very important to build these filters separately for A, B, and C class. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, every single planner is building their filters as they operate. But of course, as you mentioned, we can build every filters regarding every class of the product. So we can start from A class to go to the B class and to the C class of the products. Okay. Okay, so take action. So as mentioned, first of all, we need to contact our supplier and productions if we see that we have some products that needs to be changed, that needs to be speed up, or we need to cut off some numbers. We need to calibrate our sales, make sales forecast, override and change forecast settings in order to be as close as possible to the information that is on the market. We can also recalibrate our supply chain lead times and lead time variances. If the lead time variances are changing constantly right now, we can also input these numbers in system, and system will recalculate how much stock we need to have in order to cover the sales with this lead time variances. And most of all, we need to collaborate in our team, in our sales and operating team, starting from sales through the logistic department and purchasing and procurement division. Now I will show you also how to build the, for example, how to deal also with the overstock. Many times in many processes, we are putting some order cycles days, which means that every 30 days we are overviewing some product group, and we are making changes to some product groups. But in order to react faster, we should lower these numbers. Yes. So, for example, we should change all this order cycle to 14 days. It immediately will change also our safety stock and our quantity that is ordered. It may lead to the situation when we will be ordering more in terms of creating more purchase orders, but we will have much more faster reaction time, and we can always postpone or change the orders. If we order it only once in every 30 days, we have too long period in which we cannot do almost anything. Another topic that is very interesting and to be useful in these times is the topic of if you have different warehouses, you can use in project the intersite optimization. Intersite optimization will calculate whether we can move some assortment from one of our sites to another. So you do not need to make an order, for example, to your location in Prague, in Czech, if you have this kind of items in Munich, Germany. System will propose where we can, on what products we can move this assortment in between the locations, and we will propose what is the number of the orders should be moved in between the location in order to fulfill the demand needed in the separate locations. Of course, you need to take aware the fact and the transport costs in between the locations, but in many cases it's better to move it through the location rather than buying it and spending money on purchasing, for example, minimum lots that it's provided by your suppliers.
Okay, Artur, we have some questions from the audience. For example, the question which is interesting, there are some comments as well. For example, so that procurement is the most stressed department in the company. Do you agree with that?
I think every department is very stressed in the company, but when it comes to cash flow during the recession times, the procurement department very often becomes the more stressed, because if they need to split up the orders, they need to contact with the supplier to split up the orders. If they need to speed up some orders, they need to have this contact and work very hardly to provide it to your company. So yes, I may agree.
Also, there is a remark or the question as well. So the ABC analysis is a point in time process. So do you review this on a weekly or daily basis? Do you combine this with the forecast analysis to identify trends, or how often you recommend to do this?
As often as you create your S&OP process. If your S&OP process is once monthly, you can update it once a month and communicate to the organization at the level of demand planning. But if the patterns and the changes on the markets are more often happening, as if they are happening right now, you should check them instantly after any major changes in your demand forecast or any news from your sales department.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so there is also a question which appeared at the beginning. Can we come back to the question? What is the best practice with demand variation where you have shelf life?
Demand variation where you have shelf life. Well, you can. Streamline actually provides you the models, the forecasting models which best fit your sales trends, and it could also report your shelf life. So if you are creating any demand forecast and there will be a risk of write-offs or moving out the products, Streamline will directly inform you and show you what kind of products you need to react, lower, or speed up some orders. So it's possible, but there's no one algorithm that I can say that, for example, you need to use the seasonality pattern, because there are many different patterns in many different industries, and we need to check the time series that you currently have, and to challenge it with the algorithm that we are using it. And Streamline also shows the quality of each algorithm that is being used. So if we forecast in different forecasting methods, we will always see the quality of the model that is Streamline providing to you. So you can choose the best method for you, for your product, for your group of products.
Daniela is adding to your the remark that the shelf life might be 2 days or 2 years. Is also a difference.
Yes, it might be difficult. So when it's 2 days, you need to forecast on the daily basis. Actually, you cannot forecast on the longer period.
Some people in the companies are using different software, different ERP systems. For example, SAP HANA. Might be integrated with SAP. Might Streamline be integrated with SAP?
Yes, Streamline might be integrated. We even have customers that are using SAP, Microsoft Dynamics, and any other major ERPs, and they are using as well Streamline in their companies.
I would add that we have direct connectors with most popular ERP systems, but also we have a standard one connector. So it is possible to connect almost any ERP system or database.
Yeah, there are some other questions. Let's leave it for a while because we have a few points in the presentation left. And then on the end, we have question and answer session. So we will come back to the questions asked before. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So actually, I will sum up somehow what I remember from your presentation, Artur. The first point is to react fast instead of be focused on forecast accuracy. This is actually what we've been voting on the beginning of the presentation. Fast reaction is actually the most important, the key point for the strategies for those tough times. The second, what I understood, is the safety stock should be based on the service level, which is crucial to be sure that we will not achieve the safety stocks or lack of stock in this variable situation. The third point is to prioritize and build an alert system, so I will exactly know what I should do as the most important thing in the company in terms of planning sales and operation. And the last time I found the most difficult actually everywhere, because it's something which seems to be impossible, is to find time to analyze the data and take actions. Actually, this is the most important, to make any decisions, to make actions. And without the support of the artificial intelligence supporting the Streamline solution, probably it will be not possible. So that is very important to use a proper tool to find time to make an analysis and take actions. Artur, would you like to add something more to these points?
Actually, you covered and you summarized it very well. I just want to add that every business needs understanding, and probably all of our participants have their own specific business challenges. And if you want to discuss it with me, you can book a free consultation, and we can speak about your processes, your products, and your problems that you are dealing. You can find it in the chat, my calendar. So if you are interested, please book the consultation with me.
Okay.
Okay, I will just summarize the Streamline AI solution. So, and the areas which the Streamline covers. As mentioned previously by Nelly, we have a direct connector with most popular ERP systems, and we can also connect with the database, or we can build an API connection if it's needed with your systems. The systems offer the demand planning, forecasting, and sales forecasting modules, inventory optimization in terms of safety stock strategy, in terms of replenishment strategies, and the supply planning, which provides you what kind of orders with what quantity should be ordered. We also cover the containers planning. If you are importing many things from Southeast Asia or by sea transport, we can optimize your purchase orders based on the customer, for example, size and value of your orders. We cover also MRP planning in your processes, and the most important thing is that Streamline completely covers the S&OP process. So with Streamline solution, you can build S&OP process, give the permissions to the users in different departments to use this system simultaneously. So even if you are not working at the same time, it will constantly update for everyone to see the changes that are happening, for example, on the supply side or on the sales side. The inter-site optimization, which I presented to you, if you have more than one warehouse, we can create an inter-site optimization in which we can transfer the goods in between sites. It could also help there when we have a shelf life products. So if we have a shelf life products and we have a huge stock in one section, we can move it to the another section to use this goods in another warehouse. And we also cover the dynamic simulation, when you can, for example, input some numbers regarding your lead times, regarding your demand inventory, and see how it will change in the forthcoming, for example, 3 to 6 months, make a what-if analyze to make your proper and transparent decision based on your on numbers that the system is providing to you.
Also, if you want to know more about AI and how it can help in demand planning, supply planning, and S&OP, I recommend you read the articles. Streamline experts wrote them, and you will get the links to these articles in the follow-up email. So some of the articles were written in 2022, overcoming supply chain challenges with AI, what large manufacturers need to know, how digital twins can help supply chains survive disruption. It is about dynamic simulation that Artur was mentioned, that you can play what-if scenarios like a stress test for your decisions and for your supply chain to check how your KPIs will look like in 6 months, in 1 year. Are your decisions great that you're making right now? How AI can streamline sales and operation planning. And and also some fresh articles, 5 ways AI can benefit demand forecasting and inventory planning, how AI dynamic simulation makes your supply chain planning more efficient.
Okay, so now it's time for Q&A session. Marek, you told me that there are some questions.
Yeah, I found a few interesting questions, so let's come back to the questions. One from Rafał is pretty interesting. So the main question which I found is, do you have data from the companies which have launched Streamline tool on improving order service level?
Yes, we have this data, and we can present you a few business cases if you want, Rafał. It depends on the company and the level of maturity of company, how it improves. My latest implementation, there was improvement of the structure of the stock. For example, 30% lowering the value of the stock in just 6 months. So yeah, we have these numbers, and if you represent specific industry, we can search for these business cases directly connected to your industry and present you the numbers from this industry.
Actually, it is a typical result for Streamline to reduce the overstock by 30%. If you look at our case studies on our website, you will see that result in almost every case study.
What about the data implementation? So somebody should or need to enter all the data, or the data might be sourced from other places?
Mm-hmm. Well, the data is extremely important. The management of data, the management of master data, it's point one if we want to get the most of any system. So this needs to be always up to date, and this can be provided directly in Streamline, or we can import it from your ERP. We can import from your database, from the places which you provide us this data. The most important thing, we need this always updated.
But we should update it, so many people are sitting and updating all the time the system.
Depends on what data you are speaking. If it's about the lead times, and if you are changing the contracts with your suppliers, yes, you need to input this data, because Streamline and I and any other planner don't know what are the changes in the lead times in regard to the new contracts.
Okay, what data are sourced directly without the persons, without the people work?
I don't understand this question. Could you please repeat?
What kind of data are sourced from, for example, from the SAP?
Any data that you can show us, the transactional data regarding the history sales, the actual inventory stocks, inventory value, purchasing prices, sales prices. So any data that you have in SAP, we can connect and move to Streamline and use it.
In general, we need 2 years of sales history to create a statistical forecast. We need your current inventory information and open orders. And we have a great documentation in Streamline. So if you contact us or if you book a consultation with Artur, we can provide you with the documentation, what exactly you need to import from SAP or from your database into Streamline to work with it.
Okay, the next question is, when you take into consideration the business size, what are the limitations of Streamline, for example, in part numbers, SKUs, or processes covered by Streamline?
I actually answered this question in the chat. I will repeat for everyone. So there is no limitation in Streamline in the number of SKUs or locations. We don't limit that. So, and Streamline is perfect for mid-sized businesses and enterprises.
I have
we have different customers.
Yeah, I have one of the implementation that it was made this year, and we cover 44,000 SKUs of finished goods. I don't know whether it's for you much or...
How many SKUs do you have? Please write us in the chat.
Kate asked, who is your main competitor in Europe?
Actually, Nelly, could you answer this question? Because I'm always focused on process and I'm not really much focused on...
Our main competitor is Relex, also the forecasting tool of SAP.
Okay. Actually, going through the questions, we covered almost everything. I'd like to ask the audience to put the last questions, because our time is also...
Maybe missed something, so you can... copy this.
Okay,
slide.
cyber attack. How to secure the system against the cyber attack?
How
Oh.
secure is the system against cyber attack? I will answer that. So we can provide the detailed information about the security in Streamline, but also Streamline is possible to set up on your server. So it is also on-premise solution, both. We have both options, on-premise and cloud solution. So if you are very worried about it, so you can set up it on your server. So new questions, last questions.
Yeah, I do not see any questions.
Postman wrote, okay. Hundreds, it is a question about the number of SKUs, hundreds of thousands of FGs and millions of different PNS at different BOM levels. Okay, so we have very big projects and we can handle it for sure.
Let's make stress tests.
Yeah.
Based on these numbers.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So actually, we have also 5 minutes left, I see, and there is one question which we may come back. This is the first question: how we could manage demand fluctuation frequently due to undefined market trends. Actually, Artur, you answered a little bit during the presentation. Would you like to sum up somehow this question?
Well, there's a thing probably which I not covered during the session due to lack of time, but Streamline has also the functionality, for example, when implementing new products. And many times the biggest fluctuations of products appear when we launch new series, categories, or products on the market because nobody knows how it will be selling. In Streamline, you can choose the pattern or the trend which was already created by AI in some very similar assortment on this market that you are launching this product. So you can use the trends and this forecast trends, seasonality, and everything when launching new products. So it can also might help you when dealing with new products.
Yeah. So in my opinion, we are.
I think we covered everything.
Yeah. Thank you very much for today's webinar, taking part.
Great audience, very active. Thank you so much for your questions.
Thank you, and I invite you for a free consultation so we can discuss in details the questions you already asked during this webinar or the new ones that will appear.
Yeah, it is a great value, by the way, of Streamline that our customers, potential clients can communicate with such great consultants as Artur and Marek. Okay, thank you so much, everyone, and have a great evening or day.
Thank you, and have a nice evening.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.